I'm not returning my shopping cart. And you can judge me all you want.
Yeah, happy to join in on this one. Hey, Agent Sebastian here. We don't do too many reaction videos, but this one is particularly interesting because this woman who definitely wants you very much to know that she has a doctorate and is a mother, made a lot of news a while back, millions of views as well as large mainstream news coverage. And we'll get to all her false premises and other misdirections and lies in just a second. Here's the rest of the video.
I'm not getting my groceries into my car, getting my children into the car, and then leaving them in the car to go return the cart. So if you're going to give me a dirty look, off.
And as you can tell by her cussing as well as her very serious and stern look, this is a mother who cares more about her children than anything else. All you scolds out there need to get lost. Well, and I'll give her credit for leaving the comments open on this TikTok video because they masterfully and completely burned her to the ground. You're a bit slow for someone who has a doctor in her username. This isn't about women's empowerment or safety. It's just an excuse to see you next Tuesday. You are a horrible person, and that's clear, yeah. I park next to the cart return thingy, very easy. Well, if you want to be that awful person, so be it. You can be whatever you want. You are so brave. I love the sarcasm there. Returning a shopping cart is a basic moral test you can give a person, blah, 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 blah. We've all seen that. I agree. I've had all 4 kids of my car stolen on separate occasions while they sat 30 steps away in the car while I returned my cart. I miss them. So, yeah, the sarcasm as well as the just like matter-of-fact ways to deal with her apparently dire issue were very evident and absolutely destroy her and overtake the comments. Let's get into her main argument, which is the fallacy of the appeal to pity. In Latin, the argumentum a misericordiam. Meaning, who cares about the facts that are going on? Here's another issue that you should pity me for. Perfectly exemplified by The Simpsons decades ago.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
And you might say, well, Agent Sebastian, Narcs' official policy is not even to approach cars when they see small children in the vehicle. That's correct, but that's not for the reason of kidnapping. It is for the reason of the parents possibly flipping out and becoming angry and violent and endangering the children. And a side point being that those people may try to use their children as shields against doing the right thing and teaching the right thing, which we've seen in some Narcs videos as well, much as this lady with a doctorate is trying to do here. And in her follow-up video, she leans hard into this and quotes some seemingly scary statistics to buttress her terrible point.
About 6 million people have freaked out over me not returning my shopping cart because my kids are in the car.
Quick pause. She starts by gaslighting us by saying that we are freaking out by making fun of her and pointing out the logical flaws in her argument. This woman, as you're about to find out, is supposed to be a therapist, supposed to be, as she says many times, a doctor, yet she is literally trying to make you feel crazy and stupid and silly for pointing out what a terrible person she is and how flawed her arguments are.
So I want to give you some statistics. Last year, 265 children were abducted in parking lots in America. Half of those were sexually assaulted.
Because mothers were returning their shopping carts? No, that's not what that statistic says at all. There are a lot of people in a lot of parking lots at any given time, so of course crimes are going to happen there. And credit to the LA Times, who tracked down the source of that statistic, finding that it had to do with car thefts, in which case the kids were accidentally taken because the thief didn't even see them in the back seat. And of course, it says nothing about shopping carts or a locked car. And as far as the abuse claim she throws in there, well, it's not in that data at all. In other words, she is lying about it to manipulate your emotions.
In many states, it's actually illegal to turn your car on and walk away. Many comments said that they would turn the car on, leave the air on for the kids, and go return the shopping cart.
Again, another example of using a fact that is loosely related to her argument, but has absolutely no practical bearing on the situation we're talking about. Yes, there are states where they have no idling laws. You're not allowed to just leave your car running because they want to cut down on pollution. I defy you to find a case where a single mother left 2 or 3 kids with the air on in her car for just a few seconds to return her cart and the cop was just waiting there with a ticket. It's never happened, guaranteed. But as you'll see, her entire tactic through all of this is to manipulate and deceive you, all while doing this under the guise of her professional accreditation.
Well, in Los Angeles, in one particular parking lot, that's at least a 12-minute walk. You could go to jail.
She had to go deep digging for that one because, yes, I'm sure there is some shopping mall somewhere where the parking lot is a giant area and the store is maybe a half a mile from the very furthest parking spot. But we've patrolled hundreds of lots in and around Los Angeles, and in all of those cases, there are always convenient cart corrals or the front of the store. So she's using here the fallacy of cherry picking, using maybe one tiny example that doesn't apply to what people are talking about to try to make her case. She's a bad faith arguer, and I would not trust her with any statistic, maybe like this one.
There are reports from the Bureau of Justice saying 10% of crimes occur in parking lots.
Yeah, people are in parking lots a lot of the day, and by that logic, you shouldn't go anywhere anytime that crimes are ever committed. And I might be able to discount this as just a person who's either bad at statistics or is willing to lie or some combination of those things. But she herself brags about how she uses her, quote, expertise, which you just saw is terrible, in these areas in court.
There are actual lawyers who specialize in parking lot crimes, and they sue the grocery stores. And guess what? I've been a part of those cases.
And this was on her website I was showing you earlier, where she's looking very sultry for some reason. But if she is willing in court to lie and manipulate the facts like she has done in these videos, that's scary. The other things you can find on her website are her merchandise, which is this sweatshirt that says, "I'm not your effing therapist." I guess at some point somebody told her that cussing was funny and cool and edgy, and she really leaned into that. I also found an article she did a while back for NASDAQ where she talks about how she came out of school with $500,000 in debt. So I guess she had to find other income streams like $69 sweatshirts and perhaps the consultation fees she might charge for these expert court appearances. And that's the reason I'm taking particular interest in what she had to say, because her arguments, they've been made in various forms by various different people. And as you can see here, I'm very easily able to kind of dismantle them and show you why they're silly and don't apply to the argument of the average person taking back the average shopping cart in an average situation. And to be fair, in her follow-up interviews, she pulled back far. She said, well, I just want people to, kind of watch out and be aware of their surroundings. If you don't feel safe, don't worry about putting your shopping cart back. But if you go back to her original video, that is not the kind of language she was using.
So if you're going to give me a dirty look, off.
So her eventual point about, you should always kind of be aware of your surroundings and keep safe, which everyone knows is pointless. No one needs to say that. But that's not why she got all the original attention. It's because of her title and that she's a single mom. So there's my response and my rebuttal to her ridiculousness. One other thing that I noticed is that she does a periodic podcast where she talks to different people about things roughly related to the therapy world. And I'll leave this last clip to let you judge how much of a serious intellectual person she is and how much you should trust her and her understanding of science.
Today, my guest is Lisa Mercer. Lisa sees dead people. She identifies as a medium, and as a psychologist, I've always been very skeptical, and we hashed this out. But at the end of the day, I believe her, and I believe that while we were talking, dead people were in the room, and they were talking to me, and I think my grandfather was there.